Tim Ballard. Tim Ballard is getting sued a whole bunch. Woman depicted in Sound of Freedom sues Tim Ballard, says her portrayal is defamatory and slanderous. Kelly Joanna Suarez Moya, just gonna call her Moya, says she was presented as a child trafficking monster in the movie, but in reality was never involved in any trafficking scheme. Gonna have to prove that one. Definitely gonna have to prove that one. A Colombian woman who was portrayed in the movie Sound of Freedom as a child sex trafficker is suing Tim Ballard and the team behind the movie for defamation because, according to her suit, she was never involved in human trafficking. The plaintiff, Kelly Joanna Suarez Moya, spent... why did I say that whole thing? Moya spent 18 months in prison before being released, but has never been convicted of any crime, according to a new lawsuit. But she did spend 18 months in prison. Where did she spend prison time at? Hang on, I'm gonna look that up. I searched for like 20 minutes. I couldn't find a single place saying where she went to prison at. So I'm just gonna assume that it was in the United States. Because I think it was in like Miami or something that it was all busted. I don't know. Or Colombia. Somewhere. It was like an island. What it seemed like in the movie. Not too sure on it. Nonetheless, in Sound of Freedom, which grossed $250 million globally, Moya is depicted as a former beauty queen who kidnapped children under the guise of modeling auditions, piled them in shipping containers, and sold them into sex slavery. The story in the film centers around the depiction of an undercover operation. The story in the film centers around the depiction of an undercover operation Ballard staged, in which he and others, including Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes, posed as American sex tourists looking for children for sex parties in 3 Colombian locations. So it was in Colombia. Yeah. The suit filed Friday in 3rd District Court says Moya never took part in 3 meetings in which Ballard allegedly tried to convince several individuals to bring minors to a sex party set up as an anti-trafficking sting. Ballard's group created the demand for the minors, the suit says. What? Ballard's group created the demand for the minors, the suit says. Moya was invited, her attorneys wrote, and promised to be paid to attend and potentially have sex with one of the men because, despite being adult, she needed money and looked young for her age. That sounds like it's a, what do you call it? Diversion? I don't know. I don't know if she got tricked and she's being lied about in this movie. But being involved with something like that and not knowing, that's a hard one. Because I find it difficult to believe that this party for children on an island, you didn't know that this was for sex trafficking for these men that were there, who I guarantee you were disgusting men. Moya attended unaware of the purported purpose of the party. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. I don't know why she got out of prison after 18 months. She awaited trial that long just to be found not guilty, and then what happened after that? What happens when you get found not guilty after spending 18 months in prison? Do you get awarded a whole bunch of cash? I didn't find anything about that either. Apparently she just was let go. And that doesn't make sense to me. Moya, unaware of the purported purpose of the party, her attorneys say, and was arrested because she was mistaken for another woman who had attended the planning meetings but was not at the party. I call bullshit. The suit says Ballard built Moya into a beauty queen turned sex trafficker to create sizzle for the story. Promotional material for Sound of Freedom claimed that the character in the movie is based on a real person, refers to Moya by name, and says she was a former beauty pageant queen who was nothing short of a monster. In reality, the suite states, Sweet. I don't. Okay, whoever this is, Salt Lake Tribune. I mean, I've read other articles. This isn't the only article. This was just the most put together one. And so far I haven't found any information that contradicts with the other articles. In reality, the suit states Moya had competed in a contest to be a neighborhood ambassador for her hometown but did not win. Okay? According to the lawsuit, the depiction of her as a sex trafficker promoted by Ballard in the press and is portrayed in the movie resulted in Moya being reviled, spit on, and receiving death threats. That makes sense. I don't think that should be happening, no matter what. But I also think if she did it, she should be in prison. Why is she not in prison if she did do it? Because 18 months, I don't think, is near enough time for child sex trafficking. When the movie premiered in Colombia, there were posters with Moya's image next to the actress playing her in the movie, branding her as the Queen of Cartagena, I don't know. And people once again began sending her hate mail and calling her names, the suit states, leaving her fearful to leave her house. Yeah, I can understand that, but if she actually did it, then too bad. But you shouldn't be doing that if she was released from prison and not found guilty. The defendants checked the court records. The suit states they would have known Moya, despite Ballard's best efforts otherwise, has never been convicted of a crime. Well, that makes sense if you're in Colombia, because pretty much everybody with money in Colombia is a criminal. And she was not a mover and shaker in Cartagena. I'm going to say Cartagena. That she had no access to children, and that her portrayal in Sound of Freedom was defamatory and slanderous. You're going to have to prove that one. You can't just say that it was defamatory and slanderous. You're going to have to show evidence, which hopefully we get to see that. The attorneys who filed the suit on Moya's behalf are also representing Newman. By the way, we're about to get to the point where this all falls apart and makes me think that it's bullshit. Here we go. The attorneys who filed the suit on Moya's behalf are also representing numerous women who have filed lawsuits accusing Ballard of sexual abuse and assault, and OUR of being complicit, and OUR of being complicit in his actions. That's where it falls apart, when the same people running her case are also running cases for sexual assault. That's where I'm starting to really smell the bullshit. The lawsuit names Ballard, producer Angel Studios, director Alejandro Monteverde, and Operation Underground Railroad, the anti-trafficking organization Ballard founded, and others as defendants. Chad Colton, a spokesman for Ballard's defense team, called the new suit more unfounded allegations against Tim Ballard by the same attorneys for the same reason, hoping for a big payday. Yeah, but if this is involving the actual chick, then this is a lot worse. He provided a video allegedly taken on the operation that appears to show Ballard meeting with Moya and four men, and Moya's appears to acknowledge the conversation is about sex work. Colton also noted that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement issued a news release after the operation that said 55 child sex trafficking victims, the youngest age 11, were rescued in the operations by ICE and Colombian authorities. Wait, so there were sex trafficked kids at this party. Is that what that says? Thought she said these weren't sex trafficking victims. From what this report, straight from ICE, says, that 12 individuals involved in sex trafficking and the rescue of 55 sex trafficking victims off of this island party. He provided a video, blah, blah, blah. Colton also noted, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The spokesman for OUR called it a new low for the plaintiff's attorneys. That's pretty fucking low. Plaintiff's attorneys were aware. OUR's spokesperson said that OUR was not involved in production of the movie, did not have approval rights of the script, and did not have any financial stake in the film. In fact, OUR was not mentioned or referred to once in the film, the statement said. OUR goes on to call the lawsuit baseless and another example of the plaintiff's lawyer abusing the litigation process and wasting judicial resources for their personal gain. That's what it seems like to me. If it's not that, then they're not good at all at PR. A spokesperson for Angel Studios did not immediately comment on the new case. They probably should. Ballard launches Unfounded series. On Thursday, Ballard's legal team debuted what is said to be the first in a series of videos where Ballard and his wife Catherine seek to offer their perspective on the allegations that have been made against him. Definitely gonna watch that. The first installment also includes a solicitation for donations to Ballard's legal defense fund. In the episode, Ballard says that the women accusing him of sexual misconduct and assault are taking out of context things he said to them when he was undercover and in character. The episode referenced statements reportedly made by some of the accusers before the lawsuits were filed that their interactions with Ballard were professional and no lines were crossed. So they're trying to say that him trying to gain access to sex trafficked kids by playing a character of a creep, that he's a creep. Okay. And there you go. If you like what I do here, I have a description box that you can click. But if you don't want to do that, just give me a like. That's all I ask. That's all I need. It sustains me. It gives me sustenance. Join the Discord. I'm always in there. And as always, you